What if I told you the future of women's basketball was being written right now in Indiana? What if I told you that a team once considered a WNBA backwater is now the hottest destination for free agents? And what if I told you that a basketball legend just dismantled a Hall of Famer's outdated narrative with a single, perfectly aimed truth bomb? We're diving deep into the Caitlin Clark effect, the Indiana Fever's stunning transformation, and why Sue Bird's endorsement is the ultimate validation. Get ready, because this story is about more than just basketball. It's about legacy, opportunity, and the changing landscape of women's sports. Remember a few months back when Sheryl Swoopes grabbed a mic and went on her Nobody Wants to Play for Indiana tour? She painted a picture of the Fever as radioactive, claiming free agents were dodging the team because of locker room toxicity and internal dysfunction. A bold move, a really bold move, a potentially career-altering move if her point of view was incorrect. But how did that age? A lot of things can be happening behind the scenes, but painting the team and organization and those involved as toxic is a different ballpark of allegations. She basically pulled the fire alarm and said that Indiana was where talent went to disappear, claiming the locker room was a dumpster fire, that no real star would willingly walk into that franchise, and that Caitlin Clark was stepping into basketball purgatory. Talk about a statement. Fast forward to now, and Indiana just clapped back in the loudest way possible by absolutely dominating free agency. Suddenly, players that have been around for a bit are not only interested, but excited about playing for the team. And leading the rebuttal isn't some random fan with a Fever jersey, it's Sue Bird. Yes, that's Sue Bird. But before we break down her masterclass in real talk, let's circle back and give Swoopes take the gentle roast it deserves. What it do, peeps? Sheryl Swoopes has been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is Mia. They got a PB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave. This wasn't some innocent hot take from a rookie podcaster. This was a Hall of Famer going full scorched earth on Indiana's reputation. Swoopes basically pulled the fire alarm and told everyone that Indiana was where talent went to disappear. So that takes us to Indiana, which I think everyone agrees right now has gone from, a team that made the playoffs last year, lost in the first round. They were building all these young pieces, of course, Caitlin Clark, to now an immediate contender with all the moves that they've made. Except turns out Indiana is now the place to be. Free agents aren't running, they're sprinting to be part of the Caitlin Clark experience. And guess who sees it for what it is? Sue Bird. And when Sue speaks, the whole league leans in. I think Natasha Howard certainly stands out. I loved playing with Tasha. You cannot say enough about. I really enjoy playing with her. I think she really is she's just this glue player that doesn't get enough shine for what she does, because a lot of what she does doesn't show up in the box score. But she just is always in the right place at the right time. And a player like that, I think complements what Indiana is building. Sue Bird isn't in the business of handing out fluff. She's not clout chasing. This is a 4-time WNBA champ, 5-time Olympic gold medalist, and one of the sharpest minds women's basketball has ever known. Her opinions aren't takes, they're court orders. Sue Bird is one of the greatest point guards of all time in the WNBA, and she's someone who obviously is a part owner in the Seattle Storm, so hyping up another team is a bit of a conflict of interest if we're being honest. Now let's be clear, Sue didn't jump on the Fever hype train with pom-poms. She did what any seasoned legend would do, told people to calm down with the title favorites chants. That's classic Sue, cool, measured, reminding everyone that rings aren't won through Twitter threads or highlight reels of logo threes. They obviously through trade added Sophie Cunningham, a player that, I would say a 3-and-D type player who has, been to the finals, so has that playoff experience. She's also just tough. She's mentally tough. She's physically tough. She brings an edge to them. And then last but not least, they added Dana Bonner, which really I think is the one that for most people like took it to another level. So now you're like, oh, they're a contender. But if you actually listen to her, you'd realize she wasn't throwing shade, she was dropping warnings. Because underneath the level-headed tone, the message was crystal clear: Indiana is cooking something special. Not just the Caitlin Clark highlight show, though Clark's out here making defenders look like traffic cones and dropping dimes like she's allergic to turnovers, so sees the blueprint. The biggest part of DB joining this team that she's already played for Steph. So I think that's going to help bridge the gap, because as we go along, we're going to talk about Vegas and Seattle Atlanta. It's really going to be which team Stephanie White, being the head coach of Thank You, was the head coach of Connecticut, now the head coach of Indiana. So it's really going to be the team that finds their chemistry. Aliyah Boston anchoring the paint like it's her personal fortress. Kelsey Mitchell finally getting the shine she deserves after grinding through the lean years. Lexi Hull bringing the grit and glue that every contender needs. And now veterans are circling like it's 2016 free agency all over again. This is what Sheryl Swoopes didn't see coming. Clark didn't just shift the narrative, she rewrote the entire playbook. Kelsey Mitchell's ball and Caitlin continuing to impress, and she's going to break records non-stop for the next couple years. It's just going to be a constant record break. Sue Bird gets it, she's been that player, the one who attracts stars and sets the tone for a dynasty. She sees in Clark and this young fever core the makings of another empire. This is how greatness starts, with a transcendent rookie, a solid foundation, and vets who want to ride the wave. There's something about the way she plays the game, her passing, her shooting, that people really identify with. So I really feel like we're poised and we're set up for a great successful next era of Fever basketball. So while Sue is out here calmly mapping out the Fever's rise like a general at war, Sheryl Swoopes is watching her credibility evaporate faster than her takes get disproven. The Fever aren't a cautionary tale, they're the future. And if the rest of the league doesn't wake up soon, they're going to find themselves watching Indiana lift trophies while they're stuck quoting cold takes from last season's group chats. 3 WNBA MVPs in your career. Would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself? No, I can't, bro. Sheryl Swoopes. Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is dominant. When Sue Bird opens her mouth and says a team's about to cause problems, you don't roll your eyes. You take notes, because Sue isn't some retired legend desperately clinging to the spotlight with spicy takes for clicks. She's a certified basketball savant, and when she drops a take, it's not opinion, it's prophecy. And her message about the Indiana Fever clear as day. They're not knocking on the door. They've already walked in and claimed a seat at the table. The Fever aren't satisfied with just being good, they're gunning for greatness. Clark didn't come to Indiana to try her best, she came to stack trophies, MVPs, championships, legacy. This team wants to be the next dynasty, and based on what we've seen, they're not just talking, they're building it. So for everyone still doubting, still nitpicking, still clinging to old narratives, Bird sees you and she's here to let you know you're wrong. This isn't a phase, this isn't hype, this is the future of the WNBA unfolding before your eyes. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you never miss out. Click the video on the screen. See you.